Tonight on The Hotel Inspector, a lighthouse that has lost its way.
I don't know what the hell is on my ceiling, but I don't like it.
With an interior resembling a science fiction fantasy.
Now that's just weird.
Has Alex Polizzi met her biggest nightmare?
In fact, I'm going to do it without her bloody knowing, actually.
Standing proud on the south coast of Wales, the West Usk Lighthouse. 20 years ago, Frank Sheahan had a dream. He quit the music industry rat race and, along with wife Danielle, spent £70,000 turning the disused lighthouse into a family home and 4-bedroom B&B.
Well, you've got to have your dreams and your ideas, otherwise you just become a conveyor belt cabbage, don't you? So individuality is an important thing.
We said, I found my dream. I found my home in the middle of nowhere. That's why we came here, because he had this dream.
While an assortment of makeshift outbuildings provide space for Danielle to ply her trade as an alternative therapist,
Go tell me if there's any pain anywhere.
the lighthouse has become a blank canvas for Frank's quirky DIY.
I have done all the decorating in the lighthouse, so all the imperfections, unfortunately, are down to me.
It's also become home to some of Frank's weird and wonderful obsessions, such as the Lamp Room, a private shrine to some of history's greatest thinkers. But the idyllic dream of lighthouse living and guest house running has proved anything but plain sailing.
It's just been a question of survival, really. We've been surviving. And I know that there's more that we can do here that would put us on a firm standing so that we wouldn't be forced to sell.
I have to congratulate Frank, because he's been his business, really. I've been in the background.
Oh.
It is your business, though.
I feel appreciated. Don't always, gotta be honest.
However, time has stood still at the lighthouse. The decor in the 4 guest rooms, a strange concoction of styles and ideas, is showing its age. And more frighteningly, the business hasn't made a profit in the last 10 years.
I know my gut feeling is I want to stay here and fight, if you like, for the survival of the lighthouse and my business, because I love it. If we don't get more money, we will lose the property. It's as simple as that.
The lighthouse is standing precariously on the edge, with a dismal 45% occupancy rate. If the B&B can't reverse its fortunes, the family could lose their home. Providing the guiding light is award-winning hotelier Alex Polizzi. Having run some of the most exclusive hotels in the world, can the Hotel Inspector knock the lighthouse into shape?
The road is pretty grim. It's like no man's land with the potholes. But on the other hand, look, it's just over there. And now I'm here, I'm actually quite excited.
I will take Alex's advice, providing she can convince me she knows what she's talking about. And that's the bottom line.
Now that I'm up close, that magic has vanished. It's a mess here. What is that? Is it a pond? Is it a shrine? And there's that old dilapidated fence and this collection of rather depressing random pots. My initial expectation has all but evaporated, and I'm not even through the front door yet.
Hi, Alex.
Hi,
Thanks for coming. It's a bit cold. I'm Frank.
Nice to meet Alex
Nice to meet you.
Polizzi. Hi, Alex.
This is Danielle, my
Hi,
wife.
Danielle.
Now that she's met the extended team, Alex is curious to find out exactly what's going on at the lighthouse.
OK, I'm going to cut straight to the chase. What do you think are your problems here, and why have you asked me to come in and give you a hand?
Well, it's been a struggle. It's still a struggle, but I wouldn't want to have to leave here thinking, well, I've failed. And the goal is to have really happy guests who are going to pay me enough money for me to actually have the lifestyle of actually enjoying the lighthouse.
I understand that this is your home as well as a bed and breakfast. How much of the space is yours and how much do the guests get to enjoy?
There's no, place for them to go and relax and just chill out. Except for they just love their rooms.
After her disappointment on the front doorstep, Alex wants to spell out the importance of first impressions.
All I've seen is the approach, and it's not pretty. Certainly the entrance seems like you have certain personal obsessions. But there's a few things that I noted straight away. I mean, there's a very interesting Dalek under the stairs, which is an unusual welcoming sight in a hotel. And I think also it's very helpful when you've been somewhere so long, it's very helpful to have another set of eyes. We do have a tendency in our lives to cling on to a load of junk.
But for Frank, it's not junk, and his concern is that Alex will turn his characterful B&B into a humdrum hotel.
We do get quite a lot of customers that say, well, I didn't want a standard hotel type room look. I want something a bit different.
I'm not going to tell you that it all has to be beige, so don't worry.
No.
Okay, this is a unique location.
It's a one-off.
But I'm very happy for you to disagree with me and us to argue out anything that I say over the course of the next couple of days.
I'm feeling more relaxed now because I thought you might have been a bit of a Rottweiler, and it would be my face.
I put the Rottweiler persona away. I just think it's obvious that you need a new broom in a way. And that's how I think of myself. Yeah.
This is the West Usk Lighthouse. It serves as the home to Frank Sheahan, his family, and as a 4-bedroom B&B. But the 20-year-old business is in danger of running aground.
It's been a labour of love, and it's been a dangerous struggle. The money is such an important thing. You can't survive on thin air.
Their rescuer comes in the form of respected hotelier Alex Polizzi.
This is it.
As part of her investigation, Alex will spend a night at the B&B. Frank has checked her into his best room, the £130 per night water bedroom.
Well, the first thing to say is I don't know what the hell is on my ceiling, but I don't like it. It looks like it was done by someone on very bad drugs. I think it's supposed to be the outline of Wales, and it is draped with cobwebs. It has to go. It's horrible. Other than that, this is a big room. The overwhelming feeling is I can't understand why it's pink. I mean, you're by the sea. Surely the right colours to have is blue, or is it just me being old-fashioned? It all looks very home decorated, and it could definitely do with a fresh lick of everything.
So the Lighthouse's main attraction fails to live up to both potential and price tag. The other rooms are more modestly priced, between £75 and £110 per night. But are they more modestly decorated?
The more I see of this place, the more I think that it could be absolutely amazing. It's quite frustrating that it's just not. It's how homemade this looks. It's unforgivable. And there's no fireplace behind here. They've just stuck this to a wall, and that annoys me. That's against all the rules of design. And then even the wallpaper behind the bathroom door. What on earth was he thinking?
Downstairs, the problems are compounded by what appears to be an invasion of the strange.
The big problem here is there's so little space, and every space that there is filled with junk. I mean, we're going from this here to a water cooler, to a piano, to a bowl of shells, to masses of DVDs, none of which adds anything at all to this room. Now, I believe that when you walk in somewhere, you've got to already start getting excited about what you're going to get. And I tell you what, my heart would sink walking in here. Now, that's just weird.
The Lighthouse clearly needs a new direction. But after 20 years as both a home and B&B, Alex may have a cosmic struggle on her hands.
I don't know what she's going to say. I mean, she might say, what on earth is a Dalek doing in the entrance hall of a lighthouse? And I might say, well, he's waiting for an under 9 bus. What do you think? I liked the idea of a Dalek in the Lighthouse. They wanted to take over the universe, couldn't get up the stairs. I didn't see any problem at all.
But the problem for Alex is where to start. With a miserable 45% occupancy rate and no profit to speak of for the last decade, the hotel inspector is number crunching.
I find myself in such a dilemma somewhere like this because actually he could spend £10,000 just in this room. At the moment, the sums just don't work out, and I don't want to say to Frank to spend loads of money if I can't see how he's going to make it back.
As the sun rises over the Severn estuary, Frank is up early and preparing to impress.
I normally whistle to myself in the morning, you know. A little bit nervous, because obviously it's the hotel inspector.
With no guest lounge to relax in, before taking on breakfast, the hotel inspector finds herself outside, taking in the view.
Morning.
Oh, good morning, Alex. Did you sleep all right?
I slept very, very well.
Oh, that's excellent. I'm so pleased. Would you like teas or coffees?
Coffee,
Coffee?
please.
Excellent.
Thank
OK, my pleasure.
Frank is confident he can cut it in the kitchen, but it seems Alex has put him on edge.
We've got organic eggs, free-range eggs. The eggs are good, you know, but I've also got sausages, which are pork and leek, bacon. You can have the bacon any way you like, you know, well done, medium, whatever. I've even got baked beans, which is, you know, some people like it, some don't.
I would like scrambled eggs, one sausage.
One sausage, yep.
Some bacon.
Bacon, yep.
And some tomato. Would
And some
be lovely.
tomatoes. Hold the beans, yeah.
Hold the beans.
Hold the beans.
Thank you,
I
darling.
won't be too long.
Thank you.
I'd say help yourself to the cereals there.
Thank you very much.
The lengthy explanation has left Alex with a healthy appetite and Frank in a muddle.
Napkins. What have I done with the napkins? I've got a big... Oh, I'll probably give her a more scrambled egg than I normally give someone else, but then she didn't have any mushrooms and she only had one sausage, so I've made up on the scrambled egg. That plate's a little hot, so...
My
please enjoy.
goodness. You're a man of many talents, Frank.
Oh, I don't know about that. That was really quite nerve-wracking, you know? I didn't think I'd be quite as nervous, you know?
The breakfast of champions. It's a huge plateful. I don't think anyone likes a mound of food to arrive. They can always ask for more.
After breakfast, Alex has two options as a guest. Return to her room or orchestrate a tour of Frank's pet project, the lamp room.
Frank, do you want to explain this to me?
Yes, this is a personal tribute to what I consider to be great minds of our century. Basically, it's the question of, is there actually meaning to life?
Frank, I have nothing against this, but I would suggest to many people they may come up here and just think it's a big mess. Have you ever thought that seeing as there's so little space in the Lighthouse and guests are really restricted to their rooms, that this might not make a rather nice sun-trapped sitting area for guests? Everyone has a right to have their own personal obsessions. I would like you to think about how we might add extra value to
For the
people
customers.
staying
To
here,
the customers,
to the
yeah.
customers.
Frank has obviously found it difficult striking a balance between home and business. And as she descends from the lamp room to the terrace, Alex is confronted by another view that, while fine for friends and family, is unacceptable for fee-paying customers.
Wow. Look, this is what makes this place so special. It's absolutely stunning. But then you see this. And this is what makes it all so depressing. It's shabby. It's decrepit. It's pointless.
In the knowledge that the hotel inspector is judging the world he's created, downstairs Frank is beginning to worry.
It's like an exam, and I've always disliked exams. I know I'm going to get told that there are things that are obvious things. I just don't know to the extent of what she's going to say. If she says I have to remove what I've got up in the lamp room, remove it, then I'd fight her. I think it makes sense. I don't want to be told you've got to give that up because Giving up is failure.
Having witnessed how attached Frank is to his world, Alex goes in search of an ally. Frank's wife, Danielle, is a counsellor and therapist. Perhaps she can help broker a resolution.
Frank has lots of obsessions which have slightly spilt over into the house, and I think, one of the things I'm going to have to tackle is that if this is to succeed, you need to concentrate on a core business and what your core business is. It might be hard and it might be painful, but I think that is the only way that it's going to work.
Whatever you suggest, we'll look at it and we'll all decide as a family.
Well done.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted to hear.
After spending 24 hours at the Lighthouse, Alex sits the couple down to discuss her findings. First up, the dismal first impression and equally poor standard of decor throughout. In her view, the current Lighthouse experience doesn't justify the cost.
When you walk in that front door, you should already feel like, wow, I'm staying in a lighthouse. You have to keep that and build on it.
It needs to be improved. It needs to be improved.
And what we're charging, we should really offer something.
I am trying to take it up to another level so that you can charge 120, 130 pounds a night, day in, night out. If you manage 60% occupancy over 10 months of the year, that would be plenty for you.
Absolutely, yeah.
Next on the hit list, the plethora of paraphernalia that litters the interior and bears little relation to the B&B's surroundings.
Your Dalek I have no problem with, but it isn't part of a theme. I'm very happy with the sea theme. I think it's very apposite for here.
Possibly what Alex is trying to say, maybe we could go a little bit upmarket.
What you've said so far makes an awful lot of sense. A bit concerned about losing the Dalek, possibly, but...
Swallow that bitter pill and say, OK, fine. I'm going to have to be something I didn't expect to have to be, which is business person.
Finally, if the Lighthouse is ever going to fully meet its guests' needs, Frank will have to make a big sacrifice.
I'm going to have to say this to you. I know you're not going to like it, but I have to, that I think the lamp room is the perfect area to have a sitting room for guests. If we want this to be a thriving, successful business, your enthusiasms are going to have to take a back seat. You have to focus on your core business, and your core business is a bed and breakfast, and it could be enormously successful.
We've been quite not lazy, but easygoing. And
I think you're going to find it very satisfying when you are on top of it.
Definitely.
So Alex leaves Frank and Danielle with some tough decisions as she leaves for home.
Westdash Lighthouse inspires and frustrates you in equal measure. Of course Frank and Danielle love it as their ideal family home, but unless we can make it work as a business, they're not going to be able to afford to stay here.
Alex wants to implement a three-pronged attack. Firstly, by improving the entrance and updating the Lighthouse's rooms, she feels she can up occupancy rates, up the business's profile, and up their profit. Secondly, she wants Frank to decide on a theme for the Lighthouse that reflects the natural beauty surrounding it, with no room for the junk and no place for a Dalek. And finally, she wants Frank to abandon his project in the lamp room to make room for his guests. But will he make the right decision for the livelihood of his family? With a new day comes a new era in West Usk. Frank's 17-year-old son Jed has appointed himself project manager in charge of clearing out his father's junk.
I think we need to take a bit back.
Okay.
Get rid of this.
But will Frank let go of some of his most prized possessions?
That's got to come out. Right, okay. Jed, please. I'm your dad. Please, Jed. Give me bottles.
We can put them somewhere else.
Jesus, Mary and Joseph. Good God.
It's an encouraging start as far as the rooms go, but despite Frank embracing Alex's suggestions, there's one element he won't surrender on: the lamp room.
That's staying where it is, and nothing's going to budge me. In fact, I'm going to do it without a bloody note, actually. Let's carry on with it. I won't say I'll do it behind the back, but I will. Yeah, I'll just delay that part of the project.
And even Danielle has had second thoughts.
I'm so attached to the Dalek.
I think, personally, you'd be glad to see the back of that Dalek.
No! I clean it regularly. I dust it. Oh, it's going to be such a...
So you're serious? You hang on to it?
Yes.
After a few weeks away from West Usk, Alex returns to Wales and the winding road to Frank and Danielle. She's anticipating a fight over the lamp room, but before she's even reached the front door, Alex is wrestling with her frustration.
I've just arrived at West Usk Lighthouse, and it is immediately apparent to me that Frank hasn't taken any of the advice that I gave him on my last visit. Just out here, you can see that it's still as messy as it ever was. I mean, that plate was here last time. Here we go.
For 20 years, Frank and Danielle Sheahan have owned the West Usk Lighthouse. But now it's in trouble.
If we don't get more money, we will lose the property. It's as simple as that.
The interior has been left in a time warp.
There's no fireplace behind here. They've just stuck this to a wall, and that annoys me. What on earth was he thinking?
The B&B is overrun with Frank's hoarded collections and eccentric projects.
If she says I have to remove what I've got up in the lamp room, I'd fight her. I think that makes sense.
And the business hasn't made a profit in the last decade. So they've called in the hotel inspector. Alex has advised them where they're going wrong and has returned to the lighthouse to find out if they've been listening.
Frank! Hi!
Oh, hi, Alex. Really nice to see you again.
How are you? How's everything been?
It's still pretty quiet, but I managed to do a few things, you know.
Frank, out the front.
Yeah.
Needs to be tidied up.
Yes, it does, yes.
Because if you want a business for all seasons, it has to look neat and tidy.
It does,
Let's go and have a chat.
Yeah, wonderful.
Is that good?
No, that's great.
With the front of the house still tatty and the hallway remaining untouched, Alex is concerned that her recommendations are being ignored. She's brought along some visual aids that she hopes will help get her points across. It's time for a Polizzi pep talk.
Basic headings. Okay. So let's start with heading 1. Now this symbolises the hall. Now I have to say that I was very disappointed when I came back because I felt like I'd made my point quite firmly to you.
We need ideas of how to make it, turn it into a wow.
Well, I'm telling you, you've lived here too long and you don't even notice this wonderful building, these wonderful spaces that are all cluttered up with all this shite. There has to be a wholesale change. Things have to get
just
better.
get rid of everything.
Get rid of everything.
Yeah, start again.
1-0 to the hotel inspector. Alex will have to choose a theme herself, one which has no place for a Dalek.
We've had a little meeting and we've decided that the Dalek, we would keep it.
I am impressed by Danielle saying that she would be happy to get rid of everything, but she'd like to keep the Daleks. So.
Yeah, same.
You too?
Yeah.
The Dalek stays.
Now the decider. Alex has a grand plan that will give the lighthouse the wow factor it so desperately requires. But her vision will only work if Frank is prepared to call time on his beloved shrine.
The moment of truth, the lamp room. There's no point in mm-ing because I want to know what you think.
This has been obviously a sore point, you know. I mean, I can cut the pyramid back down, actually, still keep it in the lamp room so people aren't banging their heads on it, but I could reduce that by about 50%.
Frank, you're such a nice man. I really like you.
I know what's coming. Whenever someone says that, it's going to be the big one, isn't it? Yeah.
No.
Okay.
I would love to be able to say to you, fine, but I don't think that's going to help you. And I don't think that I would be doing a very good job if I stood there and said that to you, because I would be lying. I do not think that our two ideas can coexist, and I don't think your business can move forward until you accept that they can't coexist. And you can tell me whether you think I should go and take a running jump, which I am very happy to hear from you. And I won't be offended, because everyone does have their dream. But I think if you want this to succeed, you're going to have to agree with me.
It's something of an ultimatum. If the Lighthouse is to benefit from the Hotel Inspector treatment, then Frank and Danielle must commit. The lamp room could become the B&B's main attraction, but for that to happen, Alex wants it gutted. She also wants to give the water bedroom a complete makeover. If Frank has a template to work to, he can then renovate the other 3 rooms in the B&B. Alex believes her plan could finally steer the business towards a profit, but will Frank sign up?
She wants me to do a total U-turn and remove everything and forget the project totally. But I think I could be kept happy, and so can my guests, and so can Alex. If she walks out, well, okay. Fair enough. End of news.
Alex is determined to have a decision over the lamp room before she leaves. Having anticipated Frank's resistance, she pulls out her trump card. Can the Hotel Inspector make them see the light with a trip to Cornwall?
Tresanton is in St Mawes, which is a fishing village. It's a hotel that's owned by my mother.
Oh, right.
Yeah. But it is decorated very much with a nautical character, a maritime character.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think you will go there and you will be enormously enthused and excited.
That's exciting, positive, yes. Yeah. I look forward to the trip.
But agreeing on a theme is just one part of the plan. Getting customers there in the first place is just as important. And for that, Alex is thinking marketing.
I really think that it would make a huge difference to you if we could get you into one of these wonderful modern guides that there are about unique, special, individual places to stay. It would bring you to a larger audience. I think it would make a huge difference to your bookings, but there is a long way to go.
A lot of work to do, I can see that, yeah.
OK.
But there's a goal there.
But there's a goal.
Yeah.
The B&B is truly standing at a crossroads. Alex wants to relaunch the Lighthouse in just 2 months' time, but she'll need something to sell, and there's a risk it may end up being the Dalek.
I thought I'd better come and say my farewells to the lamp room. If all goes as it should, this will not be here when I come back. Of course, I don't believe for a moment that Frank's actually going to do anything. All I can do is hope.
A few days later, Alex's team of decorators arrive to transform the water bedroom, and Frank is there to witness them make short work of his handiwork.
I'm not shocked. Sorry, guys. I'm not shocked. No.
As progress continues at the B&B, Frank and Danielle arrive in Cornwall. Alex hopes the luxurious marine character of the hotel will have the desired effect.
The purpose of getting Frank and Danielle here today is to inspire them with what is possible with their place. I'm hoping that they're going to see the similarities and not the differences. At the moment, Danielle's been rather a passive partner in this whole relationship, and I want to enthuse her, inspire her, excite her. Hello, Donna.
What a wonderful place. This is beautiful.
I'm inspired just by coming into this area here. It shows you the potential of the lighthouse with the terraced area.
Good, I'm glad. But what's key here is grouping stuff together and just making sure that whatever you do has a real impact visually.
Alex's first port of call is one of the hotel's public areas, an illustration of what could be achieved at the Lighthouse.
OK, so this is one of the sitting rooms, and I think it's very important to have somewhere that guests can just chill out. I also wanted to show you, we still have lots of paraphernalia. You know, we have the anchor light, we have pictures of boats, we've got the gull pitch, we've got lighthouses.
That lamp is actually fantastic. Well, where on earth did you get that?
You're not going to buy anything. I'm going to nix that. You've got masses of stuff already at the Lighthouse, and it's just how we use it. You need to concentrate on your core business. Let's get the Lighthouse full every night.
True.
And to help you focus, I'm going to take you to show you a room.
Next, the hotel's finest room. Simple yet harmonious. It sells for double the price of the water bedroom.
So, this is one of the weirdest and most glamorous rooms in the hotel.
I'd like to take this home. Yes.
White bed cover, looks clean, blue and white, very maritime. Most importantly, you get the idea that you are on the sea.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
yes. I mean, that's a cracking
And
view.
for us, it would make them feel that they are in a lighthouse.
It's not just the views that are comparable to the Lighthouse. At £240 per night, the hotel's smaller rooms exemplify Alex's vision for the B&B.
The point here is that this is not a huge room. This is why I wanted to show it to you. It's very simple. Somehow this looks like a seaside room again.
Very much so. At the Lighthouse, we've got the views, we've got the terraced area, we could do this. And we are lucky, you know, we're just not using the full potential of it.
Frank and Danielle leave the hotel feeling motivated and inspired. Back in Wales, it's all hands on deck as the family finally embrace Alex's battle plan.
It's difficult to argue against someone when you know they're right, you know? It's difficult. Of course, everybody always thinks, well, why don't you do it anyway? But it's not, it's easier said than done.
The relaunch is now just 3 weeks away. As part of her marketing push, Alex has invited some influential guests to sample the new-look B&B. Among them will be a reviewer from Alistair Sorday's Special Places to Stay guidebook.
I've got to trust her, and at the end of the day, if it's a better space for my guests with these views, then sacrifices are going to have to make, you know. Cool, that was on there tight. I just hope she really knows what she's doing, because that was an awful lot of expense, work and a dream, really. So it's done now. Alex is going to be pleased. I kept my part of the bargain. She has to keep her part now and get me some guests. Paying guests, by the way. Fingers crossed she's got it right.
D-Day has arrived. After months of persuading, arguing and pleading with Frank, the hotel inspector is back for her final visit. She's greeted by a most welcome of welcomes.
I am so excited. I can't believe the difference since my last visit. Frank's whitewashed the walls, there's gravel down, and this whole front area has been completely transformed. I think I must have cracked him.
But has Frank cracked the hallway? For so long filled with a plethora of random objects, what will Alex find behind the front door?
This looks incredible. I can't believe the difference. It looks clean and bright. And the fish tank, it's been painted, it's been moved. I love it. I want to kiss Frank. Frank, where are you?
I recognise that voice.
Hello,
Alex,
darling.
hi, good to see you. You look well.
I'm so excited.
Thank you.
It's just fantastic.
It's been go, 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 go. But look, it looks like a lighthouse, doesn't it?
The surprises don't end there. Upstairs, Alex is eager to see what Frank and Danielle will make of the newly refurbished water bedroom. The bodge DIY and mismatched decor have been banished. In their place is a fresh, nautically inspired but sophisticated scheme that will take the lighthouse into the next era.
Ooh, wow.
Wow,
Oh
my God.
it's a bridal suite, isn't it?
It looks very clean and fresh, certainly. The important thing is that this room, you come in here and it leads you direct to the view.
It is a double wow, isn't it? It's the room and the view. A wow wow.
The stylish new room is just what the stunning location deserves. But lurking outside on a 40-foot crane is an even bigger surprise for Frank.
How are you feeling, Frank, about this? Excited?
I'm very, very excited, you know. It's been quite an interesting journey. It's been much harder than I imagined.
I haven't seen it yet, I can't
I've seen the glass on the truck.
It's a monumental moment as a newly commissioned glass floor is carefully manoeuvred into its new home. Having given up his shrine to history's enlightened minds, will the new lamp room justify Frank's sacrifice? The spectre of Frank's memorial is a distant memory. Previously reserved for the dead, it's now the perfect relaxing space for guests of a more lively nature.
I already love the steps all blue, the new blue rope. I can't believe it!
Be the first person to walk.
Yes! I love it. I love the way you can see all the way through. This really is as I wanted it to be. I love it. I know that your pyramid was very close to your heart, but this is a real addition to your lighthouse.
And the seating and having it white opens it up, makes it a proper lamp room. You know, you want to be up here, don't you? I can't really believe this. This is amazing.
I'm going to ask you, Danielle, do you think it's been worth the heartache?
Oh, definitely, yes.
It all fits together. And you can stand on it. I can stand on this, can't I?
Yeah, it's all safety glass. don't jump, Frank!
It's a dramatic turnaround and bold way to relaunch the Lighthouse, just in time as the first VIP has arrived, travel writer Toby Sorday.
The entrance is hugely attractive, actually. It's sort of inviting through the sort of avenue of bushes to a marine-coloured door with a dog perched in front of it. I mean, it's the sort of stuff out of a seaside postcard.
At stake is a coveted entry in the Sorday Special Places to Stay guide.
Toby.
Frank, hi.
Nice to meet
And you.
But will the Lighthouse, its quirky features and brand new room make the grade?
Toby? Ah, this is your room?
Lovely.
Probably the best view in the place, actually.
It is incredible.
It's going to take more than a stunning view to get the Lighthouse into the guide. After 10 years in the doldrums, the Hotel Inspector is determined to release the potential of the West Usk Lighthouse. To get the business talked about, Alex has invited some influential guests, including critic Toby Sorday, to relaunch the Lighthouse at a champagne reception.
Hi, Josephine.
Among the VIPs are a local wedding planner and magazine editor. But will the new lamp room strike the right chord? And will the new bedroom offer enough wow factor to guarantee a good recommendation?
It's absolutely gorgeous and the seating is just perfect. I love it.
It's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. Even if the sun's not shining, it's an amazing place to be here and experience, I think, the Welsh countryside.
And the weather. Imagine in a thunderstorm with it beating down with rain. It's going to be so dramatic.
It's like a hotel that we would actually come and stay in.
Yes, yeah. And look forward to recommending guests.
Wow.
The truest judges of how we feel about the place is if you actually want to come back. Look around you, you know, look at it. It's amazing.
Frank's tremendous efforts have paid off. The guests leave on cloud 9 with a promise to spread the word. But Toby has yet to see the rest of the B&B before he can decide whether to include it in the guide. With such a gulf between styles, will Frank's quirky decor leave Toby all at sea?
Do I love it? Do I hate it? I'm not quite sure. I've never seen anything like it. That is the one thing I'm sure about.
Having worked so hard to get their showcase rooms ready, Frank and Danielle appear to have overlooked the basics.
This really is like an attic room in someone's house where they popped all the stuff that they don't want elsewhere in the house. And actually, if you look up at the TV, you've got this incredible layer of dust where it clearly hasn't been cleaned for years.
But the room next door, the B&B's smallest, seems to have rekindled the magic of the Lighthouse.
Bizarrely, I quite like this room. It's got quite unusual proportions in that it feels like you're on a boat or in a sort of captain's cabin, which seems quite appropriate for where we are at the moment.
The inspection ends and Toby has a tough decision on his hands. Frank and the family have worked incredibly hard in the last few weeks, but will the old versus the new prove too big a gap for the guide?
Toby, I know I am longing to, and I'm sure Frank is, hear your conclusions.
you're a man of many interests and you're a man of huge energy, and that interest and energy, I think, is often seems certainly to be channeled into all sorts of things, which in a way is part of the magic of this place. But I think also that stands to perhaps undermine it in certain places. The basic cleanliness and the sort of upkeep of rooms has clearly had less attention paid to it than perhaps the new room. I would beseech you to put that energy first into treating each of the other rooms that haven't yet been done as your next project.
My wife, Danielle, said exactly the same thing to me this morning. Focus on all the basic stuff. So it's all sinking in, it is going in, and I will do that, you know.
I think, as it stands at the moment, I don't think we can put you in the book.
You can't, not sure.
Simply because some of the things that we've spotted are things that I know you can tackle, but you haven't yet.
Toby wants to return to the Lighthouse in a year's time to give Frank an opportunity to tackle the other rooms. But it seems that Danielle isn't happy with the assessment.
You know, we do get repeat business. You know, if you look at our visitors book, I'm just annoyed.
Isn't it interesting to hear from someone who actually spends their time looking at comparable places?
You cannot say this place is dirty. It's lack of, you said, lack of cleanliness.
Clutter is much more hard to keep clean. Absolutely. And I think that's really all we're saying.
We're going to declutter. All the bedrooms are going to be done upgraded. That's the whole point.
Your emotion, this is our home. But there has been criticism, and it's been justified criticism, and I know that we can do better. And of course, you do take your eye off the ball. We've been here now 18 years, and the energy levels drop, and you see things, and you've got to motivate yourself.
Although Frank has had a tough time of it, as ever, he remains philosophical.
Toby's decision not to put us in the book was a blow. It was, to be honest, you know, but I see his point of view, and we're not up to that standard. But, you know, with a bit more effort and time, we will be. So I'll give on to the old blower and say, yeah, Toby, you're a good bloke. And Danielle's lovely, really. I know she gave you a hard time, but it's a personal thing. It's a home, you know. Well, you can't be fairer than that. It was not that you're never going to be in it, is it, you know? And it was complimentary. Nothing ever runs 100%. It's the name of the game. You just do your best.
All that's left for Alex to do is to have one last conversation with the couple.
How do you feel about everything now, compared to how you felt when I first arrived?
I feel mentally and physically drained, to be honest.
I was astonished that you dug deep into yourself and you carved out that piece where the pyramid was, and you listened to my advice.
It was hard because, as you know, that was a very personal concept and idea and project.
I don't think I would ever have managed to achieve that without you, Danielle. Thank you very much. And I just have faith that if you and Frank agree and support each other, that the changes will continue.
The B&B is the reason why we can survive here, so that's the key thing. And I'm not silly. I know that that's how we pay our bills.
So please, please continue on this path, because then the future looks incredibly rosy.
I've been thinking of how I can still keep that really attractive.
I'm not listening. I'm not listening.
And still have my way eventually.
One of the central conflicts to running any bed and breakfast is how to separate the business from the personal life of the owner. At West Usk, this was obvious from the start. However, I honestly believe that the tide has now turned, and Frank has finally found the focus necessary to take the Lighthouse forward.